Welcome to SWAC, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Conversations with everyday Christians. How's it feel to be being interviewed right now?
It feels kind of weird.
Feels weird?
Who likes being interviewed?
I like being interviewed.
Okay, well, you're one of two people then. I'm just kidding.
Maybe I don't like being interviewed. Maybe I just like talking.
Yeah, talking is fun. It depends. It depends on the topic, though.
It depends on the
topic. Yeah.
We got some topics today that we're going to talk about.
Okay, what are the topics?
The topics are some topics you're familiar with. I wouldn't just put you on the spot, have you talking about something you wouldn't know about.
I would hope. I would hope not.
Well, we're going to be talking about real estate, financial literacy, and investing. Real estate, financial literacy, and investing. You familiar with those?
I'm familiar with most of them. All of them. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Three topics, man. I thought I was.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm familiar.
When I do these things, I'm like, okay, what would this person be good at talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this person likes this, or this person does that.
Yeah.
So let's just have them talk ad nauseum about whatever.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Not financial literacy. We're gonna start with real estate.
Okay.
You are a real estate agent.
Yes, I'm a realtor. There's a difference. I'm a realtor.
Okay, yeah, you can tell.
I'm in real estate, yes.
You're in real estate.
Yes.
You're a realtor.
I'm a realtor, yeah.
Okay, so first question for you, man. What is real estate, and how did you get into it? Or how did you get into being a realtor?
So real estate is basically properties. So it could be land, it can be raw undeveloped land, it can be developed land. Primarily, I'm in residential real estate.
Residential real estate.
Which means private properties that people live in.
Yeah.
And I got into real estate after being not fired. Wow, I wasn't fired from anywhere.
Fired?
No, I had a job that ended. I was working on a campaign, and I was just like, yo, what am I gonna do next? And I just decided to go get my real estate license, man. It was kind of a very spur of the moment thing for me. So I did that full time for like a year and a half. Then I did part time, and now I'm back full time.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you just said you got fired.
I wasn't fired.
Let's say you left or you were released.
The job was ending.
The job, okay.
Everyone basically had to leave.
Okay, everyone had to leave.
Yeah, it was a campaign, so that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the process of you going to get your real estate license? Is it hard or was it like easy?
It's not hard. It's you take a course. I believe it's 120 credit hours. Don't quote me because it's been so long.
Okay.
And then you take the PSI exam for your state or your jurisdiction, and then you put your license with the broker. So it's not that long. I think maybe it took me 3 months to go through that process.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the PSI? What's it stand for?
I don't know. It's been so long. And you know what? I just remembered that it's called the PSI last week because I was like, what is the stupid test called that I had to take to get my real estate license? It's a PSI exam.
I actually am working with someone right now, a friend of mine at the job working at Old Navy. She was telling me that she's trying to get her license in PSI, and she's been studying a lot.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people, or based on what she's told me, I hear a lot of people don't pass it the first time. How did you do it?
I did not pass the first time. I passed part of it, and then I failed one section of it. But I passed the second time.
Okay.
So
when you say you passed part of it and then failed some of it, isn't it just like
there was? I felt like I was really close to passing. That's why I give myself partial credit. I was so close to passing that I should have passed, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, I failed the first time, but the second time around I passed. Yeah.
So did you always want to go into real estate when you were younger, or is it just something you happened to think was interesting? What was that like?
The journey to real estate for me, my father was a contractor. Well, he was a plumber first, and then became a contractor. He flipped houses, and my mom would always watch like HGTV. So I kind of felt like I just was interested in real estate always because of my parents. And then I wanted to be an architect actually in high school. So an architect and a car designer. And I think that's kind of where like my interest for real estate really became like real.
Okay.
And once I went to college, I was like, I'm not doing architecture.
Okay.
So when I graduated and I got that job where it ended, I think that's when I kind of realized like, I like real estate, so let me go back into what I was initially interested in when I was little.
Oh, snap. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
So went from architect to kind of like I assume you took some college courses and you were like,
I didn't even go into the architecture program. I just went to business. So
Okay.
when I think when I went to college, I decided like, yeah, that route is not for me.
Okay.
But I've always loved entrepreneurship, and real estate sales is an entrepreneurial endeavor. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it so? Is it like I guess this is a nice little transition. What's a typical day for you as a real estate agent look like? I mean, I've seen movies where you got a real estate agent, they're trying to sell a house.
Yeah.
And it's like some sort of like commission based or whatever. I'm not really familiar with it. What's that look like for you? Typical day.
So a day to day, oh man, it should be consistent, but it's never. I think that's why I like the job, because there's always some variance in my day.
Okay.
But what I really want to do during the day and what I should be doing consistently, the biggest part about a realtor's job is that we're supposed to be lead generation, like lead generate, lead conversion, networking. That's a huge part of our job, because we are supposed to always be looking for the next, couple or individual to help. So ideally, and I'm not sticking to my schedule perfectly, so that's why I'm saying ideally I should be doing 80% of my job should be like those 3 tasks, which are lead conversion, which is the process of finding people to help, or lead generation rather, which is the process of finding people to help, lead conversion, and then appointment setting, which is getting in front of the people that I found to help.
Okay.
So that is a huge part of our job. The other part, of course, is the fun stuff like showing the houses, which is the best part of the job. And then contract writing. Not all agents do their contracts, but I do my own contracts. Negotiating for our clients, and then of course managing like the processes that go in between that, like the contingency. So inspection. I'm blanking. Inspection, like making sure that our clients get through the finance contingency with their lender. Make sure that they get through the appraisal contingency, and then also go into settlement with our clients. So, yeah, it's a lot. We do a lot of things, but our biggest job is marketing. Like, we're marketing ourselves and the homes that we're selling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're in a pandemic now.
Right.
And so I would imagine before the pandemic, you were meeting with clients in person and, showing them the interior of the house in person. Now that we've been in the pandemic, has that kind of moved online?
I've been in person the whole time. So honestly, before even the pandemic started, I was working full-time at a nonprofit. I just started full-time real estate this year. So during the pandemic, the clients I did have, I was still meeting in person. So I was just taking the proper precautions by wearing my mask. The CDC had guidelines that we had to abide by. Like a number of people that we could have in a home at a time. Just making sure that we're wearing our mask and had the proper PPE in place. So I've always been meeting with people in person.
You were meeting with people during the whole process.
Right. Yeah. I think I've done maybe 1 or 2 Zoom consultations.
Okay.
But everything else, I've just taken the proper precautions to protect myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it for a year, or almost a year now, since you started at the top of the year.
Yeah.
What's been the hardest part or most challenging part about the job? Most challenging
is probably keeping my schedule, protecting the times that I need to do those 3 things I told you about: the lead generation, the lead conversion, and the appointment setting. Like that has been really hard for me, because I want to do everything else. I'm like, okay, I should do this thing instead, or I should do this, or someone will like distract me, and I'm like, I just get distracted easily. So sticking with that has been really hard to me. Yeah.
What's been the easiest part about the job?
The easiest part about the job has been, I enjoy the social media parts of it. Like, I like social media marketing.
Okay.
So for me, like, that's fun to create the content for that. And education-wise, like, I love educating people on the process. So creating things like that is just fun for me. Yeah.
What sort of things have you created on, like, educating people and stuff?
So I just did a series on, like, how to save for your down payment. I did a series on the different type of investment properties there are. I'm actually making a couple more series around that sphere as well. So I just like the content creation piece. Like, I love content creation in general.
Content creation.
So it's like something I just enjoy.
Well, that kind of like brings me to my next question about, I've seen, there's this famous, or maybe you know, maybe you don't, a brother named Morrison. Have you heard of him?
I've heard the name. Yeah.
He's like this, apparently he got rich off of real estate, Trying to build a Tulsa, Black Tulsa down south.
Atlanta?
Maybe, yeah. I think Atlanta.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Or near outside of Atlanta, I think.
Well, maybe outside of Atlanta, somewhere in Georgia.
Yeah.
But like I see guys like him in like I said, movies, and it seems like something that other people would love to get into. Like it's like, oh snap, this is a fun job, easy job, a lot of money to make in the field.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost kind of like the Forex of, you know, it's kind of like the Forex.
Yeah, it's not easy though.
it's not easy because you gotta like get people and you gotta like, you know, and maybe you don't have to bring people up. And
right.
But no, how do you? I guess I say all that to say, how do you or how can others get into real estate? Like someone comes to you and says, Christian, I'm trying to get into real estate, and you seem like they're doing pretty good as a realtor. I
would ask them what their goal is first. So, do you want to be in the sell side of real estate? Do you want to manage properties? Do you want to own properties? Because there's different ways to get into real estate. Like I'm not just a realtor, like I'm an investor as well. Okay. So like what is your objective to get into real estate? So if you're looking to get into real estate as an investor, I would say it's good to know where you want to invest. Like research the market you want to be in. DC market is great if you want equity. It's expensive to live here.
Yeah, it is.
If you're looking for cash flow as your strategy, then you need to look outside of DC. Sorry. Because that's just not, you're not going to cash flow as much as you could in other markets. So that's the investor side. To the, I would say the realtor, if you want to get into real estate as a realtor, I would say that go ahead and take the courses. Start letting people know now that you're going to become a realtor. Okay. Because the most important thing that they tell us is to be in contact with your sphere of influence. SOI. So people like you, I know you. You know, like I know people at church. I know my aunts and uncles that none of my aunts and uncles live here, but if they did, you know, those people are the people that I need to be communicating with. My cousins, friends, family that I went to school with, college with. Letting them know this is what I do, so that I stay on top of mind, so that when they are ready to buy or sell real estate, they think, oh, let me call Christian. You know, so I would tell anyone who wants to get into real estate and you're starting to take the courses, let people know that. Like, let them know, like, hey, I'm about to be a real estate agent or a realtor, you know? So that they know, okay, so-and-so is about to go into real estate. I want to support them. So, yeah, that's what I would tell anyone who's interested in into the realtor side of things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you started off, you know, taking classes as a realtor. Do you see yourself being, I guess, going to the investing side later on, where you don't have to be more so on the, I guess, yeah, absolutely, man. I have a 10-year plan. So I'm like,
you have a 10-year
10 to 15-year plan where I'm like, I want to do the sales for 15 years, save enough money, you know, buy investment properties as I go. And eventually wean myself out of the sales. Okay. I love it, but it's something I don't want to sell for the rest of my life. Yeah.
So in 10 years, I'm gonna play this clip for you.
Okay. 10 to 15.
Oh man. All right, in 15. Let's say 13 years or.
Okay, 15. Let's make it 13. Yeah.
Right, 13 years. I'm gonna play this clip for you, and I'm gonna say, so how we doing on the 10-year plan?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Awesome sauce, bro. Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's super dope, man. That's super dope. When I am ready to buy a house and I have some money.
Hey, I got you, man.
I know who to call.
I got you.